Nos encontramos con Supratim Biswas. Él está aquí en Colombia entrando al mercado y vamos a tenerlo aquí en el diario La República, en Al Paredón. Mr. Supratim, thank you for being with us here in La República. How is Colombia for you? How have you been here in our country?
Thank you for the opportunity. It's a pleasure to be in Colombia. I've been here before, and every time I'm back here, the fondness and the memories grow.
You are Chief Revenue Officer at Clevertap. Please explain to our viewers and readers, what is Clevertap?
So Clevertap, we are a mobile marketing platform for digital-first consumer brands, and what that means is we solve the problem of user insights and engagements for consumer brands, and these are consumer brands that could be e-commerce company, travel companies, taxi companies, ticket booking companies, across the spectrum. We solve the problem of user retention and engagement for those companies at scale in all 6 continents.
In the name of the company, Clever means that the client is smart, the company is smart, everybody is smart. Why do you use the word clever?
Well, the space is smart. Our customers are obviously smart. We try to measure up to their level of smartness, but I think digital is a smart space. To be serious, it needs it needs sort of a different level of sophistication and instrumentation to serve particularly customers who were born in the digital age, and I mean everyone from the likes of Rappi to Fandango to anyone like that. So I think Clever is just operating in a clever space.
What kind of data do you collect from the customers and a client? What type of analysis do you do over the data? And tell us about the structure of your business intelligence for your clients. What exactly do you do in the operating of a particular example that you can give us?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. So first of all, we work with first-party data only, which means we are the custodian of their users' data on their behalf, but we capture only as much data as they're willing to share with us. And typically, the type of data that our customers share with us are the actions that they perform, that users perform on their digital properties, be it a mobile app or a website. So if you think about an e-commerce app, and you log on, all of us use e-commerce apps. You log on, launch an app, that's an event. You search for blue jeans, that's an event. That's sort of user activity. That's the type of data that we capture. But again, we can capture all kinds of user activity data as long as customers are the brands that we work with give us permission to do so.
There's a big difference between data and information. That's what the people of internet say all the time. And the big conferences that you attend, always you hear the same. It's not the same when you have the data, but when you start to learn using and many periods of the same customer. What type of analysis have you found for your clients that are interesting and that they didn't see it when they had the only data?
Yeah, so like I said, we solve the problem of user retention, which means users are difficult to acquire. You spend money on paid networks to acquire users to your mobile app or your website or whatever that is, and Clevertap is the only platform in the world, as far as I know, that combines deep user insights. So we know what users do or don't do, and we are then able to segment those users or group those users in behavioral buckets. So people who buy on weekends, or people who buy in the evenings, people who like jeans to people who buy for handbags, all that kind of behavioral insights. And we then engage with those users. And the whole objective is to use the insights that we capture to meaningfully engage with those users. We live in a world where all of us are inundated with a lot of information. You get push notifications, SMS, emails. About 70 to 80% of those turn out to be, really not very relevant for us. At least that's what happens to me. And so our objective is to help our customers engage with their users in a meaningful way. So send them a notification when it's necessary to send them a notification, when it's going to be useful for them to send a notification. So if you are in El Dorado airport and you're sort of flying out, and your flight's 15 minutes late, and Avianca sends you a notification saying, hey, the gate's changed and the flight's 15 minutes late, that's relevant information for you. But if at the same time I send you sort of a grocery coupon, that's not relevant information for you. And Clevertap helps you to separate meaningful engagements with the rest of it and make you more relevant and intelligent as a brand.
What part of the theory of revenue management are you using? Because what you're talking about was invented by airlines in the 70s, but now it's digital. And I understand it's been evolving in the last years. So I understand you search inside the opportunities of revenue?
Yeah, so the metric or the KPI that we help optimize for our customers are, there are three types of metrics. One is retention metric. So you have acquired a user. Now, what happens 7 days after you've acquired the user? Is that user still active in your network, turned into an active customer? So day 7, day 30, day 60, day 90 retention. That's one type of metric that our customers use Clevertap to measure and improve. The second type of metric is what we call customer lifetime value. Now, every business has a customer lifetime value metric. It doesn't matter what, if you are a food delivery business, it's the number of orders. If you are an e-commerce business, it is the value of the orders, perhaps, or whatever that is. So customer lifetime value. And the third thing is what we call conversion rate optimization. So no matter what kind of business you run, there's a certain type of conversion metric that you're aiming for. So let me give you an example. If you're a global play in Brazil, for example, you have a whole bunch of users who subscribe to the free service, and then there are premium subscribers. So one of the metric could be how much of the premium subscribers do you convert to paid subscribers, and you're optimizing for that metric. And Clevertap can help you optimize for metrics like that. So every business has a different CRO, and we help our brands solve for that CRO problem in their business.
When you handle a lot of data, you have to have certain limits and security for your data, the place where it is, where you run your softwares and your algorithms. Tell us about the type of security that you offer to your clients at Clevertap.
Yeah, so we are hosted on the public cloud, AWS. We have sort of multiple locations where we are hosted, from Europe to India to APAC, and now the North America as well. And really, we are compliant to, so we're strictly compliant to GDPR, which started off as a European regulation, but it's, some form of it is being implemented in every part of the world. We continuously work on evolving security standards, but a combination of the fact that we are hosted on one of the safest public clouds, which is AWS, and we have a pretty strong adherence to all international standards, means that we become a pretty safe custodian for our customers' data.
Okay, now let's talk about the talent, the people that are working on the company. I imagine that you have economists, engineers, mathematicians. What is the profile of a person that works for you, and what types of things that they do to support the service for the clients?
So, the company was founded by three sort of technical founders. They were all engineers who moved up from engineers to CTOs, CIOs, and that sort of profile. So we are at our heart, we are a very engineering oriented company, but I'd like to call ourselves as a company that thinks of our product, invests in our product, and is sort of oriented, more product oriented. The product's the only asset that we have. The product's the best marketing platform that we have. And so the people that we bring into the company tend to be people who are passionate about that, who are passionate about solving the problem that we are solving, who are slightly technically oriented, and most of our employees are very sort of young. The other thing that I'd say, you mentioned the word data. Data science is a discipline that is very prominent in Clevertap. A lot of what we do is build models specific to the customer's data to help them solve problems. So we have a lot of data science. We continue to hire and more data scientists across the world.
Okay, let's talk about Colombia. Why do you start looking at the region, at Colombia? What opportunities do you see here? What type of companies are you searching for? And what is like the status of your company here in our country?
Latin America is the fastest growing part in the American continent. There's obviously North America, but we believe that the next wave and velocity of growth in the world is going to come from Latin America. It's a huge continent. There's Brazil on one side, and then there is the rest of Latin America as well. Colombia is I'm here in Colombia because we have customers here. Colombia is sort of pretty conveniently located for us to when we come over to this region to kind of get around in the continent as well. And Colombia is a very interesting market. I mean, this is the place that's some of the best known digital unicorns in this part of the world were born. So that's why Colombia. Customers, inspiration from companies that have made it large in this continent, and obviously we love the people, we love the country, we love to be back here.
Do you see yourself living in Colombia? Do you see having months of a year going to our cities? Tell us about your experience, the food. How do you feel in Colombia? What's like your feeling of entering in this new country for your business?
I grew up in India, and Colombia is as warm and hospitable a country as the country that I grew up in. And so, and I mean this very sincerely. So I can definitely see myself. You never know what life's going to throw at you at any point in time. But listen, this is not going to be the worst place in the world to be stuck. Let's put it this way. So I love coming back. I love the food. I love meeting people. Some of the warmest and most hospitable people that I've met in the world. I have nothing but very pleasant experiences and memories, and I just expect to grow on that.
Thank you very much for being with us in La República, and welcome to Colombia.
Thank you very much.